Hey guys, so I just got back from seeing Horrible Bosses 2. Um, I would have done a pre screening last night, but I had to work at 4 in the morning today, and I think like the earliest pre screening was like 7 p.m., and I didn't want to be out too late, and because especially since I had to be up at 4 in the morning. Um, and plus this movie hasn't been getting that many good reviews, so I was like, yeah, there's a good chance this movie's probably gonna suck. So I'll maybe just wait till tomorrow to see it. Um, Even though it was getting been getting bad reviews. It's like gotten 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. I was somewhat looking forward to it. I was keeping an open mind on it because I liked the first one. I thought the first one was really funny. Um, it was really well done. The three main actors in the first one were one of the best parts of the movie. Charlie Day, especially. Jamie Foxx was great as usual. Um, yeah, Jamie Foxx. I thought Jamie Foxx and Charlie Day. I thought stole that movie. And like that movie also like well now that I think about it, like, that movie had a lot of just great comedic performances by like Kevin Spacey, Colin Farrell, Jennifer Aniston, like everybody in that movie. Like it was that was I will say that like everybody in that movie had a great comedic performance. But I thought that Charlie Day and Jamie Foxx were the two standouts because they were just freaking hysterical. But like everybody in that movie was great, and it was honestly a big surprise hit for a lot of people, including me. Like how good it was. It came out like in the middle of summer and just came out of nowhere and became a pretty big hit. And I'm surprised it took like 3 years for a sequel to be made. I remember when I first heard her make a sequel, I'm like, really? Horrible Bosses 2? I don't think there's really any reason they need to be making a sequel. And then I saw the trailers, and I thought the trailers looked pretty damn funny. I thought they kind of convinced me on, sold me on Horrible Bosses 2 from the trailers. And then like I said, I started seeing the reviews pop up for this, and like right now it's like at 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, damn, how bad can this movie be? At one point, it was like almost at like 9% or like 10%, and I was like, Jesus, how could this movie be that bad? I mean, especially if all that, you know, all the actors in it, all the comedic actors in it, and most of the original cast is in it. Um, like because I said honestly, the trailers made it look to be pretty damn funny. Um, so what do I think of it? Was it as bad as everybody says it is? No, not at all. It's not great. It's far from being. It's far from being as good as the first one. But honestly, it's not bad. It's pretty good. It has its problems, but honestly, after a couple weeks ago seeing fucking Dumb and Dumber 2, this is way better than fucking Dumb and Dumber 2. I think this movie's getting worse reviews than Dumb and Dumber 2, and that's bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. This movie, at least I laughed at. I did laugh at it a lot in this movie. I That's more than I can fucking say about Dumb and Dumber 2. Um, Honestly, the main thing that honestly was the best thing about it was the three lead actors, like in the first one. They have great chemistry. Jason Sudeikis, Charlie Day, and Jason Bateman. Hello. Um, have all great chemistry together. They work well off one another, and they were great in this, just like they were in the first one. The funniest moments are with those three. Um, and of course Charlie Day. Again, I don't. I'm sitting there trying to figure this out. Like the only two movies, like it's only been this or Horrible Bosses, Pacific Rim, and or he was also in the Lego movie. Oh yeah, he was in the Lego movie, a space '80s space guy, which was I love '80s space guy. I love that character so much, and um, in this one too. He's only been in those movies, and you're like, why hasn't this guy been given a big push yet? Like he is really good. I like Charlie Day. This guy is really funny. I'm not the only one who thinks this guy is funny, and I don't know why he isn't. gotten that big like leading comedic role yet. I'm hoping it's coming sometime soon, but I mean, fuck's sake, we got every like I'll talk about trailers in a minute, but like Kevin Hart is like the comedian, the big comedian now because seriously, like he's about to be in every fucking thing. I'll talk about that more in the trailers, but um, I want to see Charlie Day do more stuff because I like this guy a lot, and he's very funny. He's definitely one of the better parts of this movie. I mean, everybody in this movie, like, again, all three of the guys are really funny, honestly, like they were in the first one. Um, Jamie Foxx and Kevin Spacey and Jennifer Aniston do pop up in this movie. And honestly, that's one of the problems. I guess I can get into the problems. One of the problems is that even though they all are pretty damn good in this movie, there isn't really any purpose for them being here, honestly. And sometimes it really makes no sense as to why some of these characters would be in some of the situations they are in this film, especially at the end, like fucking with Jamie Foxx, to the point at one point somebody Charlie Day asked why the fuck was he, because one of the end of the movie they end up in a garage, like the basement of a garage, like down in the level of a parking garage, like in the basement level of a parking garage, and Jamie Foxx just pops up out of fucking nowhere and saves them from trouble. And you're like, and Charlie Day even goes, "How the fuck? Why the fuck were you in that parking garage?" Which is like, that's a valid fucking question, and they don't fucking answer that. I'm like, it is kind of a valid question, even when the fucking actors or the characters in this movie are asking a question I'm asking. What the fuck? Um, and this like there honestly there's no reason for any of these people to be in this movie. They could have been cut out of it and it would have been fine, but again, it's like, especially Kevin Spacey, because even Kevin Spacey pops up at the end for no fucking reason, and really absurd. I don't even want to give it's something I don't want to give away what happens at the end. But again, Jamie Foxx, like everything that, even though I do complain that they probably have no purpose in being in this movie. Really, they could have been cut out of this movie. They still are very funny. Like the scenes that they are in, like especially Jamie Foxx is in, are really funny. Like Jamie Foxx's Motherfucker Jones is great. I love that Jamie Foxx is like, he was, he started off in his career as a comedic actor and then kind of went into serious roles. And it's fun to see him back in like roles like these. I love Jamie Foxx. Christoph Waltz, I mean, is in this too as the main bad guy. Although really, it's kind of mixed between him and Chris Pine. Christoph Waltz is one of those actors I fucking love no matter what at this point. And he's great. He plays a despicable person very well. He really can. And Chris Pine is pretty fun in this film too. They were great additions to the film, I thought. They weren't as funny. Like they honestly, stuff with them is not as funny. Were not as funny as like the stuff in the first one. But they were nice additions to the film. They weren't as funny. Like I still love the scenarios that you hit, like the horrible bosses that the three guys had in the first one more than I did in this one. Again, like I said, this movie I laughed a lot more at than like something like Dumb and Dumber 2. There's a lot of good stuff. A lot of this movie had, of course, there was jokes that didn't work here and there, but there were a lot of jokes that worked. As far as main problems I really did have with this movie, other than the fact that really there's no point of having Kevin Spacey and Jennifer Aniston and Jamie Foxx in there. One big issue I have is that, I know these guys are supposed to be incompetent, like Charlie Day, Jason Sudeikis, and Jason Bateman are playing incompetent guys that don't know what they're doing and stuff like that. But there's a point there's a certain point where they go from being incompetent to being full on fucking retarded. Here's a good example. At the beginning of the movie, this is the best example I could think of. Um, they're going to promote their new invention, the shower buddy, at like Good Morning L.A., and they showed a host who are a black guy and a white girl, white blonde girl, like their invention, like how it works and everything else. And the black guy tells the black guy's from I think I've seen on Mad TV. I've seen him on Mad TV before. He used to be on Mad TV. I don't know. He's a comedian. I don't know his name, but anyways, he sees the product and goes, "I want to invest in your company." They're like, "All right, cool," and they're all excited. They're like, they tell the guy, said, "Just send us your information via our website." I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Neekirkdale.com, which, because it sounds like, and of course the joke is, it sounds like the N-word. And the guy's like, "You gotta change that, man. You gotta really change that." You're like, "Oh, no, I don't think there's any problem with that." I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, nobody's that fucking stupid. That's just fucking retarded. Like, it's obvious. I mean, I don't know how they would have got that far on with that website in the first place. I mean, it's fucking obvious. I mean, a fucking idiot, a fucking retarded person would have been able to figure out. I'm sorry if I'm offending people there. Would have figured that out. I mean, there's, like I said, there's incompetence, and then there's just fucking full on retarded, and this is kind of crossing the line. This isn't the only example. There are a lot of examples in this movie where you're kind of like, okay, they weren't this incompetent like they were in the first one. I mean, they were, but they were, not this, or like they were incompetent, but not this bad. Also, like Dumb and Dumber 2, although this movie isn't as bad as Dumb and Dumber 2 with this, they do rehash some of the same jokes that you see from the first one. There's a lot of rehashed jokes. Particularly, somebody sticks a toothbrush in their ass. Like a maid. It's basically a maid of Chris Pines. Goes into his bathroom and sticks his toothbrush up her ass, like Jason Sudeikis did in the first one. Ha ha ha. Like, they're like, "How the hell did she learn that?" Wink wink. Like, it was a little annoying, but it wasn't. There were a few like other jokes here and there. That's one I can think off the top of my head, but there were a few other ones, but they weren't as annoying or hitting you over the head like they did in Dumb and Dumber 2, in my opinion. I'm trying to think what else. I think I'm forgetting something. Also, I mean, I've heard some people say that I guess one complaint is that the jokes are a lot more offensive. Honestly, they are a little bit more vulgar in this movie than they were in the first one. Even though, I mean, yeah, the jokes were vulgar, but they weren't as bad as they were in this one. I mean, it shouldn't come as to any shock that the guy who made this was the guy that did That's My Boy. So, fuck. Which, a movie that involved incest, pedophilia, and shit like that. I don't know why people were shocked by that. When I saw that he was directing, I'm like, "Oh, fuck, god damn it." That's my exact response. I was looking forward to this movie until I saw that he was like, I was like, "Who's Sean Anders?" I'm like, where have I heard that name before? I'm like, "Oh, fuck, god damn it." When I found out he did That's My Boy. Yeah, okay. I guess that's about it. Honestly, this is a movie that there's a lot more better movies out there right now to go see than this. And honestly, I would probably say it might not be worth the ticket price, the full ticket price. I'd probably say it's definitely a rental. It's not a bad movie. If you like the first one, I'm sure you'll like this one. It's not that bad. It's not worth not 20. It's not worth the 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not that fucking bad. I don't know why like it's getting that badly received by critics. I mean, it does have its problems, but it's not that. I mean, fucking Dumb and Dumber 2 is way worse. As far as trailers, I got a few new ones. There's only one that kind of actually looked good for me, which was Get Hard. It's literally the title of the movie, Get Hard. I'm sure people are gonna make fucking jokes about that. I mean, come on, this is the society we live in. They're gonna continue making jokes about this title. It's Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart, who, yeah, Kevin Hart. Let me talk about Kevin Hart for a second. Kevin Hart, like, is in the process of he's in every fucking comedy. Like, seriously, almost every trailer of this movie, almost every trailer I got in front of this movie had Kevin Hart in it. It's becoming at this point, like, one of those things is that Kevin Hart needs to watch, because he's gonna get to the point he's in everything. He's gonna start annoying people, like how much he's in fucking movies. But this movie's with him and Will Ferrell, where Will Ferrell is like a executive that is sentenced to 10 years in prison, and he's living his last 30 days at home and dreading to go into prison for 10 years. And Kevin Hart is a guy who washes his car, who Will Ferrell assumes just because he's black, I'm not joking, literally just because he's black, Will Ferrell assumes that Kevin Hart went to prison, so he wants Kevin Hart to help prepare him for prison. It doesn't look that bad, honestly. It looked like it could be pretty funny. Focus, which is it's a Will Smith and that Margot Robbie movie. Margot Robbie's that girl from that hot fucking blonde from Wolf of Wall Street. Man, that girl's fucking gorgeous. It's like a movie about these thieves or something. I don't know. I didn't really care about that trailer. Will Smith and Margot Robbie and another guy are like a group of thieves that are, trying to rob banks. I think, I don't know. I didn't really pay attention too much on that trailer. It didn't look that interesting. Unfinished Business, another Vince Vaughn comedy about them. It's with him. Who's it? Dave Franco's in that. Who else was in that? I fucking forget. Who else did I see in that movie? I forget that, because that trailer is so memorable that I fucking forgot who was in the movie. It didn't look. It's about like these guys that own a business. I don't remember much of that trailer, honestly, because it's been a while since I've seen it, so I pretty much forgot about it already. It's called Unfinished Business. That's all I remember. It has Vince Vaughn. There we go, and Dave Franco. And also the last trailer I got was the new one for Mordecai. I've been talking with people, friends of mine, about my feelings on Johnny Depp, and I guess I should talk about it here. Johnny Depp is one of those guys that I have liked a lot. I used to like a lot. Love him. Used to love him. I thought he was one of the best actors out there. Now, every time, I dread seeing any movie with him, because he's been doing a lot of shitty movies as of late. And this one doesn't look much different. It's Johnny Depp playing wacky Johnny Depp in another role that he fucking... I just don't fucking care at this point anymore. Johnny Depp needs to... I don't know what the fuck he needs to do at this point. This movie doesn't look very good. I'm just telling you that right now. It's Johnny Depp just being wacky Johnny Depp, and it's obvious like this is another paycheck for him. Honestly, he hasn't had a really big hit in a long time too. I think people are starting to get sick of him. Well, I'm surprised. Like, luckily, this is not another Tim Burton Johnny Depp movie because I don't ever need to see Tim Burton and Johnny Depp make another movie together ever again. I repeat, ever. Fucking Alice in Wonderland is all I gotta say. The last great, I was sitting there thinking, like, what was the last great Johnny Depp role? And I was like, the last great one I could think off the top of my head was Sweeney Todd, and that was 7 years ago. Seriously, that should tell you about the state of Johnny Depp's career. I'm hoping, I keep hoping and hoping and hoping that like eventually we'll get to the point where he has a career renaissance like somebody like Matt McConaughey did, but I don't know how long it's gonna take for that fucking to happen. It took a while for Matt McConaughey to have that career renaissance, but I mean, fuck, I don't know. I Mm. I want to see the guy. I don't want I used to like Johnny Depp a lot, but I'm hoping that he eventually gets his shit together and starts doing better roles than the shit he's been doing lately. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna get off here. I won't. There's a lot of movies I gotta try to catch up on, which are Maze Runner, Saint Vincent, Beyond the Lights, and what was the other one? Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, Not So Good, Very Bad Day. Or I know Penguins of Madagascar has been getting pretty well received too. Um, I was originally going to go see Book of Life yesterday, but then I changed my mind. But unfortunately, my theater, basically, cheap theater, basically got rid of the movie after yesterday. And so now I have to wait till that comes out in DVD. But I'll be back with one of those probably pretty soon. If not, I don't know what the hell I'm going to see next week. Maybe it'll be one of those weeks where I catch up on a movie I haven't seen yet. One of those movies. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later.